Morning traders, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So we got quite a few things happening yesterday. The first one was we had this breakthrough of the channel, and our channel's pretty much something like that. Just tidy it up a bit. Okay, so we did have a pretty messy channel last week, and we've got a breakthrough of that channel at the moment. Right now we are testing sort of, you can see there's a tail, there's a tail. So there's a lot of buying happening over the last 2 weeks in this area. So we are now testing that area to see what's going to happen. So if we look at the hour, there's a couple of things to look out for. The first one is we've obviously got the breakout. We are testing a level. There are a few other levels to the upside which are minor. There's one there, but the one that I'm actually interested in is pretty much a retest of this area here, which is 12,400. Okay, now just going to add some more lines to this chart just to make it really messy for you. So first things first, Fibonacci of yesterday's move, we are in between the 61.8 and the 50% at the moment. Okay, so that is pretty much an area of interest. So with all of that in mind, first option for me is around 12,400 or even as high as closing the gap here as 12,422. Stop level for that entry, or pretty much any entry at the moment, or any short entry, is going to be 12,490. Okay, 12,490 is your stop area, which is the high of Friday. The next thing to bear in mind is we have this little consolidation pattern happening over here. Okay, so a couple of scenarios to the short side. The first one is a continuation to the upside, which would basically mean we would probably end up with a channel like that. Okay, that's the first scenario, and the one that I kind of would like to see before taking the trade. So getting back to test this channel break here and then riding it further to the downside. The other option is we open pretty much where we are now and we break through this bottom flag and we move to the downside. Okay, so a target of this at the moment is pretty much down to there, which is 12,191. Okay, and you can see that lines up with some consolidation and a bit of a gap here as well. Okay, so that's the first view that we have. Now, if we just look at the current futures market at the moment, DAX is pretty much flat. Everything's fairly flat, and yesterday was down 1%. So that's a move that I'm kind of more inclined to believe is another move to the downside. And if we just tidy all of this nonsense up, what would make us move to the upside is we'd have to be looking for a break, well, on that fractal there. Okay, but what I would do is just come down to 12 or 15 minute charts and you'll see a little bit of a different picture here. Okay, so you can see we rallied hard. We got a wise man number one down here, this pin bar here. Okay, buyers stepping in, and 1, 2, 3, wise man number two was on the break of that pin bar there. Okay, and we've got wise man 3 in the same area. So pretty much at this stage on the 12 minutes, we could have a potential trend change. The only concern I've got is that it looks like a wedge. Okay, so the fractal points on the, I can actually just use that one there. Fractal points on the 12 minutes are pretty much going to be those two there. Okay, so break below this fractal here is not really an entry, but break below this fractal would definitely trigger some entries, and which would also be the wedge break. Okay, so what we're looking for is a break below 12.347 and a close below 12.347, preferably on the 12 or 15 minute chart. And that would give a confirmation of the wedge. You can either take a small position there, move your stop to above the high of the wedge, or let it run a bit, wait for the first pullback, and then get in with a stop up there. Either way is pretty much acceptable to me. So kind of what I'd be doing is watching this. If we do get a break, take the first entry. On the first pullback, hopefully it comes back to test this wedge. Start getting some negative price action, add to that entry, keep the stop pretty tight, and then looking for this measured move here. Okay, so this measured move here is pretty much 170 points to the downside. Okay, what would change that? Well, we'd have to just remember we want to keep our trend on the hour, so we're going to need to see a break above the high of yesterday at least before this trend is changing to the upside. Okay, so for me at the moment, this is looking like a wedge. I'm looking for a wedge break, or alternatively the wedge turning into a channel and coming all the way up to somewhere around 12,400 for an entry short, and then the stop is pretty much going to be above the previous high of last week. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Looking like more shorts to come. And sorry, the last thing here is the euro is getting a little bit of a hammering, and when the euro gets a bit of a hammering, it is always bearish for the Dax. Okay, so quite a few things in favor of the short at the moment. All right, well guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I will catch you later. Cheers for now.